are for the motion. They're against the motion. So let's have a preliminary vote. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
When Americans saw China's later response to COVID, Americans didn't think that was crazy. They were concerned about freedoms of the press, freedoms of speech.
If you really want to ensure that the people in a society get a fair and balanced perspective, you have to ensure that the channels of communication are neither dominated completely by the state, nor are they completely dominated by the private sector.
When Americans saw China's later response to COVID, when China went into lockdown, in general, there was a positive reporting about the discipline and the suffering of the Chinese people. Americans didn't think that was crazy. They were concerned about freedoms of the press, freedoms of speech. They were asking questions like, does social distancing and mask wearing mean that there shouldn't be any criticism of the handling of COVID?
I think no one wants to live in a society where your freedom of expression is stifled. It's good to have freedom of expression. But when you look at it functionally, your voice can be cut off, not just by the state. It can also be cut off if the media is dominated by a few rich people. If when I watch Fox TV, I feel that I'm living on a different planet. I don't know what they are talking about. What reality are they dealing with? They paint a very harsh, dark view of the rest of the world. And they paint also a very harsh, dark view of their opponents within the United States of America. And the net result of that, because Fox TV is so powerful, it has distorted so many minds in the United States who completely don't understand the real world at all. And that, I think, frankly, at some point becomes a crime. It becomes a crime because you have planted blatant falsehoods in the minds of so many people and given them a completely wrong view of the world. And you can do that because you have lots of money. So at some point in time, if you really want to ensure that the people in a society get a fair and balanced perspective, you have to ensure that the channels of communication are neither dominated completely by the state, nor are they completely dominated by the private sector. And the hardest thing is this, to find the right balance between the two. And that, what I call the middle way, is what you should try to find in the field of freedom of expression. So at the end of the day, you don't get news channels like Fox News and all, which present a completely distorted view of the world and yet persuade so many people.
Just one quick observation about the motion for this debate. Consensus. This word has a very special status, especially in Chinese political rhetoric. There's always a search in any kind of international meeting or discussion for consensus. We must reach a consensus. And if we don't, there's a sense of threat, of discomfort. And this is a particularly Chinese viewpoint. I understand it, but it's not something that Americans generally share. I think that if the lack of consensus makes China uncomfortable, China's going to be uncomfortable for a very long time.
When I was a correspondent there, I did cover these stories, and I said that word every day when I report from Washington. Thank you, Mr. Daly.